Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to Bite-Sized Book of Mormon. I'm so glad to have you here with me. If you're new here, this is the podcast where I read a chapter of the Book of Mormon, and I give a little bit of insight, maybe context, maybe jokes, I don't know, only sometimes. And hopefully, I further your understanding about the Book of Mormon, and I make it more awesome for more people. That's my goal. And so last week, we read in chapter 5 about how Sariah and Lehi, Nephi's parents, responded to Nephi and his brothers and Zoram getting back to the camp. Because when the boys were gone, Sariah was beginning to get really worried after a while because it was a long journey that they went on, and her boys were gone for a long time, and I can imagine that'd be very stressful for a mother. And so it talks about how Sariah was expressing her concerns to Lehi, and Lehi was like, Sariah, calm down. Like, I know this is from God. I know that it'll be okay. Which, I mean, imagine having a prophet tell you that everything's going to be okay. That's kind of really, that would be cool, honestly. And then when the boys do get back with their special friend named Zoram that they picked up along the way, they were very happy. Lehi read from the records a little bit, and he prophesied a little bit. And he talked about how Lehi is descended from Joseph, the one that came out of Egypt. Talked a little bit about the records and why it was absolutely worth it for Nephi and his brothers to go through all the trouble they did to get them. Because really, these records are really important to the formation of what will soon become the Nephite and Lamanite societies. Which we haven't quite gotten that far yet, but we'll get there. So yeah, this week, actually, it's going to be one of those weeks where it's a very short episode. Because I do want to stay consistent with doing one chapter per episode. So that just means that this episode is going to be real short, because this chapter, 1 Nephi chapter 6, is 6 whole verses. Which, for reference, the average chapter that we've been reading so far is like 15, 20 verses, and this one's 6. So, anyways, it'll be quick. Without further ado, I think we start 1 Nephi chapter 6. And now I, Nephi, do not give the genealogy of my fathers in this part of my record, neither at any time shall I give it after upon these plates which I am writing. For it is given in the record which has been kept by my father, wherefore I do not write it in this work. For it sufficeth me to say that we are descendants of Joseph. And it mattereth not to me that I am particular to give a full account of all the things of my father, for they cannot be written upon these plates, for I desire the room that I may write the things of God. For the fullness of mine intent is that I may persuade men to come unto the God of Abraham, and to the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and be saved. Wherefore the things which are pleasing unto the world I do not write, but the things which are pleasing unto God and unto those who are not of the world. Wherefore I shall give commandment unto my seed, that they shall not occupy these places with things which are not of worth unto the children of men. So, that was the whole chapter. Obviously very quick, but also very powerful. Like, I very much enjoyed these verses, even though there's only 6. This is a very strong statement of intent from Nephi. Nephi's like, okay, the genealogy was important to us because it tells us who we are, where we came from. They're important to my family, but they're not really the things that God wants the readers of this record to read. So he's like, I want to write the things of God. And I really like how he worded that. He's not writing the gospel, he's not writing his preachings, he's writing things of God. And I think it's important to remember that when you're reading the Book of Mormon, you're reading the things of God. You're reading things that Nephi thought were so important that he would etch them on metal plates, which, yeah, keep in mind, this record was etched on metal plates that we assume that Nephi forged himself. So this was a very high effort record to keep, and so everything in it is very important. And they are all the things of God. And I just love that wording, like I said. It's so cool. So for the standout verse from this chapter, I think my favorite verse is verse 4. And it says, For the fullness of mine intent is that I may persuade men to come unto the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and be saved. That is all he wants. He has this amazing knowledge of the gospel that he has prayed unto God to receive. And now he wants to share it with everyone who reads this record, which he knows will last a long time because, again, this is metal. These are archival level records that are gonna last the test of time. And they did last because we still have them today. And I just love that all of his efforts towards creating this record are just so he can write the things of God. Like I've repeated like 8 times at this point. So, yeah. Like I said, this episode is gonna be very short because, I mean, that was the chapter. Just a side note, if you want to read along with me, then you can go to lds.org to find a web version, or you can download the Book of Mormon app to just get an app that has, you guessed it, the Book of Mormon. Or you can also download the Gospel Library app, which has all LDS published resources on it, including the Book of Mormon, all for free, once again. And talk to you later. Bye.